Hello everyone and welcome to Roadmap. So today's topic is genetics part 1, and if you like the video, don't forget to click on thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe for more video updates. Topics to be covered are introduction, blood theory of inheritance in humans, history and development of genetics, importance of genes in inheritance studies on twins, basic principles of heredity in humans, monogenic and polygenic traits. So, what is genetics exactly? This must be a question arising to you. Or many a time, someone at your house must be telling you that you look like your father or your mother. You have some features, some characteristics which are similar to your parents. So, why it is? Because of what purpose you have same characteristics like that of your parent? It is because of the genes that are present. So what is genetics exactly? It is the study of heredity. And what is heredity exactly is? It is the passing of characteristics, which is physical or mental characteristics, from one generation to another. And it is regarded as a science which explains the similarities and differences among the related organisms. So this is what exactly genetics is. Now coming to the blood theory of inheritance in humans. Now for many centuries it was customary to explain inheritance in humans through blood theory. People used to believe that children receive blood from their parents, and it was the union of blood that led to the blending of characteristics. And this is how the terms blood relations came. That blood will tell that what are the blood relations exactly. And blood is thicker than water. So this all came into existence, and they are still used, despite that there is a fact that blood is no more involved in inheritance. With the advances in genetics, the more appropriate terms which are used now are gene relations, which means in place of blood relations, and genes will tell instead of blood will tell. So this is all about the blood theory of inheritance. Now coming to the brief history and development of genetics. Now, genetics is relatively young, not even 150 years old. So the blood theory of inheritance was questioned in 1850s based on the fact that the semen contained no blood. Blood was not being transferred to the offspring. Then the big question was, what was the hereditary substance? So in the diagram you can see the picture. So who was Mendel exactly? He is considered as a father of genetics. And coming to the Mendel's experiment in 1866, an Australian monk named Mendel for the first time reported the fundamental laws of inheritance. So in the coming videos, we'll learn more about what were the laws of inheritance. He conducted several experiments on the breeding patterns of pea plants, and he put forth the theory of transmissible factors which state that inheritance is controlled by certain factors which are passed from parents to offspring. So these results were published in 1866 in obscure journal Proceedings of the Society of Natural Sciences. So about 35 years, the observations made by Mendel went unnoticed, and they were almost forgotten. Now, two European botanists in 1990, Hugo and Correns, independently and simultaneously rediscovered the theories of Mendel. And the year 1900 is important as it marks the beginning of the modern era of genetics. So this is how the genetics came into existence. Now coming to the origin of word gene. Now how did the word gene came into existence? First, Mendel said that it was a factor, and then what happened exactly in the early years of 20th century, it was believed that Mendel's inherited factors are very closely related to chromosomes, literally colored bodies of cell. And it was in 1920 the term gene, which was derived from a word genin, meaning to produce, was introduced by Willard Johnson. and gene replaced the earlier terms inheritance factors or the inheritance unit. So this is how the word came into existence. Coming to the chemical basis of heredity. Now there was a controversy for quite some time on the chemical basis of inheritance. And there were two groups, the protein supporters and the DNA supporters. In 1944, Avery and his associates presented convincing evidence that the chemical basis of heredity lies in DNA and not in protein. So DNA finally came into existence and identified as a genetic material. Now this structure was elucidated by Watson and Crick in 1952. The importance of genes in inheritance, that is the studies on twins. Now monozygotic or identical twins contain the same genetic material, which are DNA or genes. Now studies conducted on identical twins make startling revelations with regard to inheritance. Now one such study that Oscar Storr and Jack Yuffe were identical twins which separated at birth. Oscar was taken to Germany where he brought up by his grandmother as a Christian. Jack was raised by his father in Israel as a Jew. The two brothers were reunited at the age of 47. And despite of their different environmental influences, their behavioral patterns and personalities, they had some things common in them. Like both men had mustache, wore two-pocket shirts, and wear wire-rimmed glasses. Both loved spicy food and tended to fall asleep in front of television. Both flushed toilet before using. Both read magazines from back to front. Both stored rubber bands on their wrist. Both liked to sneeze in room of strangers. So, besides Oscar and Jack, many other studies were conducted on identical twins point out the importance of genes on the inherited characters which related to personalities and mannerism. So this is how the gene inheritance was seen, and it was studied that the identical twins have the same characteristics and they have the same features. Now coming to the basic principles of heredity in humans. Now, the understanding of how genetic characteristics are passed on from one generation to next is based on the principle which is developed by Mendel. And as we know now, the human genome is organized into a diploid set of 46 chromosomes. Now, they exist as 22 pairs of autosomes and one pair of sex chromosome, that is XX or XY. Now, a girl, basically, it is considered as a male has got XY chromosome and the XX chromosome is considered in female. So, during the course of meiosis, the chromosome number become haploid. And the haploid male and female gametes, sperm and oocyte, are formed. On fertilization of oocyte by the sperm, the diploid status is restored. Now this becomes possible as the zygote receives one member of each chromosome pair from the father and the other from the mother. Now the sex chromosomes, males have X and Y, while the females have X and XX. So this is how the sex of the child is determined by a father. Now coming to the monogenic and polygenic traits. Now, the genetic traits or characteristics are controlled by single genes or multiple genes. The changes in genes are associated with genetic diseases. Now, what is monogenic disorder exactly? Now, these are the single gene disease traits due to alterations in the corresponding gene. Example like sickle cell anemia or the phenylketonuria or inheritance of monogenic disorder usually follows the Mendelian pattern of inheritance. Now, coming to the polygenic disorders, the genetic traits conferred by more than one gene, multiple genes, and the disorders which are associated with them are very important, like the height, weight, skin color, academic performance, blood pressure, aggressiveness, length of life. So these are all the polygenic disorders. Now, I hope that you are enjoying the video and stay tuned for more lessons to come. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in comment section below. And it takes a lot of effort to make this video, so I would suggest that share the video, subscribe them, and stay tuned for more lessons to come. Thank you for watching.